Hey guys, it's Shay. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in today where we talk about beauty, nursing, and lifestyle weekly. Today I'm super excited because we're finally reviewing a beauty favorite that I cannot wait to get my hands on. Yes, the Fenty Soft Matte Pro Filtr Powder Foundation. So if any of you guys don't know, when I first started out with makeup years long ago, before I even got on YouTube, I was a powder foundation girl. I'm going to tell you guys about two of my favorite powder foundations that I still use to this day, as well as we're going to do some swatch tests with the powder foundation before I do the wear test, because word on the street is that the colors do not match up. I am color 420 in Fenty foundation. I have the hydrating, I have the soft matte, and I have the concealer. So we're going to put all of those to the test against the powder foundation to see how they swatch next to each other, as well as doing a complete wear test. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. I'm super excited, and let's get started. As we first start, I want to sincerely apologize if you hear any audio in the background. You guys know I live in a new construct area. Unfortunately, it's hard to film around the sound, and this new camera that I have is perfect on audio, but it is also good on picking up on background sound. So anywho, let's get into the stuff. I'm going to try to speak clear and concisely so you guys can hear me. Now, why powder foundation? So I've been using powder foundation for a while. Most people feel like it's quick, it's efficient, it's compact, it can get the job done in less time. It also is very friendly because when it comes to what we're living with nowadays, it is very less transfer, in my opinion. Example, if I put a mask on with liquid foundation, it is more likely to transfer and show spots than when I have on powder foundation. Now, there are some challenges to powder foundation. The first challenge is skin. Your skin has to be semi-decent to actually wear powder foundation. Breakouts, texture, and things like that aren't a good time to try powder foundations because they actually enhance these areas of your skin. Now, I don't think, in my opinion, breakouts and texture are a good time to wear, whether liquid or powder, but some people beg to differ. But if you're going to do powder foundation, your skin has to be pretty, intact. One of the main things I always encourage is you should have a full skin routine. You guys know I have one on my channel. I will link it up above. But one of the most important steps in that skin routine between cleansing, toning, getting your serums in is moisturizing. You have to have a good moisturizer because, face it, the powder foundation is a powder. It's gonna dry you out a little bit. I'm not saying people who have dry skin can't use it, because I've seen a lot of people with dry skin thrive with powders, but you have to be mindful to make sure you keep yourself moisturized. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about before we even get started is a quick moisturizer. This is not sponsored, but I just wanted to throw it out here so you guys know. The moisturizer that I use today is the e.l.f. Hello Hydration Moisturizer. Guys, this is super inexpensive. The ingredients are great, and it's really been helping my skin stay moisturized and just filled with the great peptides and all the other ingredients included. If I have time, I will include on the side of the screen what is in this. The other name for this is also called Holy Hydration. So just be mindful, whether it's this one or any other moisturizer, you need a good moisturizer on your skin before you do powder, hydration, or foundation. Alright, so I did mention to you guys that I would share with you two of my top favorites. So recently, or just throughout the years, the first powder foundation I really used was by the brand Lancome. Now, I know somebody is like, what, Lancome? Yes, honey, but let me tell y'all, let me show y'all how good. I hit pan on this baby. I don't hit pan on a lot of makeup, but I hit pan on this. I started wearing this. It was perfect for not only setting liquid foundation, but wearing on its own. I was able to build up to full coverage with this, and I was in the shade 520 Suede. So this is one of my favorites. It's a very flawless finish. The exact name of this is called the Dual Finish Versatile Powder Makeup. The next one, you guys already know what I'm going to talk about, is the MAC Studio Fix Powder. Like, if you know me, this is like my third or fourth one. I love this powder foundation as well. I use this a lot to set before, but recently I've been using translucent powders, but I would not neglect this. This is still a big favorite. I'm in the shade MW45. You guys know about the matte classics. Okay guys, so as we get into the wear test, let's first admire, of course, the lovely Fenty box. I swear I keep all my Fenty boxes, and then we will go into the beautiful packaging that this comes in. Again, I told you guys I picked up shade 420, and we'll talk about that more as we get into the wear test. Now guys, One thing I can tell you about the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr Soft Matte Powder Foundation is I will always include all the details on the side of the screen as usual. But of course, guys, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to touch on the things that I know off the top of my head and that stuck out to me the most. So it can be used with their Pro Filtr primer or concealer, and I'm going to use it with concealer and primer today. It does include a sponge on the inside. And you can use a brush for like a no makeup look, or you can layer it over foundation with the sponge, or even use the sponge to, you know, build up the layers. It does promise coverage, and the coverage that it promises says that it will not cake up, and that's the main thing that stuck out to me, because powder foundation, guys, is literally made to like freaking cake up. I was told that some people had to either go up or go down a shade, but we're gonna see that today because we're gonna put it next to our other things. So as you guys can see on the inside, there is a mirror and that sponge that I just pulled out. I will show you guys real quick. I'm not really a fan of a sponge with powder foundations, so we're not going to use it. We will most likely use a brush. So as I brought you guys in a little bit closer, oh my gosh, you guys can see all the imperfections in my skin. This camera is pretty good, but we will start with our swatching of the different colors. So the first thing we're going to start with is the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Regular Liquid Foundation. Okay guys, so I have the 420 liquid soft matte. I'm just going to blend it out a little bit, and that's how that looks on my skin. So the next thing we're going to go in with is the hydrating. Now I will agree with you guys, the hydrating does look like there's a big shade difference, but we'll go over here. So this is the soft matte. This is the hydrating that I just placed on, and let's blend that out. And I'm going to use a brush still, but I'm going to try to use a different brush just so they don't mix. Yeah, so as you guys can see, 420 soft matte is like my perfect shade, and the hydrating is a little bit more yellow. I can still work with it, but when I do wear it, there is some yellow going on. Alright guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is the 420 concealer, which I can already let y'all know from the bat that it looks nothing like everything else. And just because it's a concealer, I am going to blend it out a little bit with a sponge. That's how I would originally do it. So we have the soft matte, the hydrating, and the concealer. Alright guys, I got a little bit room left on my face. Or maybe I will go across at the top. I know it's going to look so crazy, but I'll go across at the top maybe with the powder. And I'm going to use a small dense brush because I'm trying to show you guys the color. But of course, this is not what we will apply it with. Okay, so I did that top swipe, and then if I can fit on the side of my face just so you guys can have the stripe by stripe comparison. Okay, so I have a big X on my face to kind of show you guys the powder. So we'll zoom a little bit in and then we'll talk about it. Okay, I brought you guys in as close as I can. So if you look at the first swatch next to my lip, that is the Pro Filtr Liquid Longwear Foundation. The second one is the hydrating. The third is the concealer, and the X on the top of my face is the powder foundation. Now, by what I'm looking at right now, the X on the top of my face looks closest to, in my opinion, the Longwear Soft Matte Foundations, which makes sense because they're both matte. It does look, just from this part, a little bit redder, but as we do it in the wear test and application, we'll see. And like I said, this hydrating is a little bit more yellow, and the concealer is a little bit more neutral. Almost wanted to say it kind of has a pink. No, it's neutral. It doesn't have a pink undertone. So in my opinion, to make 4 different products, I think Fenty did a really good job. I have and we'll see how 420 powder foundation applies on my face, but I don't think I have any major complaints. I mean, I didn't expect everything to be dead on. You might have to go down to, you know, 430 or go up to 410, depending on how your skin's undertone and everything is, but I don't think it's to the point where it's drastically different that it's a whole different, you know, shade. Now, I have tried 430 before, and I will say that the powder kind of has a more red, like I said, to it, which is what the 430 is, and I'll look that up and put it on the bottom of the screen to say if that is what, but I think 430 has more of a red undertone. Okay guys, so when it comes to powder foundation, the biggest thing you have to also remember is not only skincare, but also the application of your products will switch up. Now I'm not going to go into a full detail or tutorial, but I will let you guys know that everything that is liquid has to go under the powder. You cannot apply liquid over top of the powder. This is not going to be very beneficial to having that smooth, seamless look. So I'm going to go in with a few things that I'll mention to you guys, which is my Fenty Beauty concealer. And this is the Pro Filtr concealer, and I have it in the shade 390. I really like a bright under eye, so that's the reason I use 390. But if you're 420 like me, you can use 410 if you want something more toned down. I'm also going to try some of her cream products today that I have already purchased and tried, but never tried them with powder foundations. So I do have the cream blush, and this is in Drama Class. Oh my gosh, guys, it looks like purple, but when you put it on, it is something else. So I'm going to try that, and I'm also going to put on a little bit of cream bronzer, and the cream bronzer that I have today is chocolate in the number 6. I'm going to go ahead and put all this stuff under, and then we will get to the powder foundation. Alright guys, so I have all my products on. My cream products, I did my cream blush, my cream bronzer. Biggest thing is just making sure you get everything blended out properly. So the time has finally got here. Let's get into this application. I'm going for a no makeup look, so I'm going to use my buffing or powder brush. This one is super affordable. It's from Equate. It's only about, I think, $3 or $5, and I've had this for years. I've used it to put on all the other powder foundations I've had on before, so this is just what I'm going to stick to. So I just dip in just like a regular, and as you guys can see, my brush was clean before and it has a good amount on it. Wow. Okay, Fenty. This has a lot of coverage. I probably put too much on my brush. I didn't expect it to have that much coverage. That's why I dipped it in there so well. Wow, this has a lot of coverage. So you can use, they said to use the Pro Filtr primer before. In my opinion, you guys know what I'm gonna say. I think you should use the hydrating one, but I did use the matte one because I don't own the hydrating one. Now the thing about powders too is while people think they are easy, you have to make sure that you have the right amount in each area. So that's why you guys see me going around frequently to make sure that your face is even, because you don't want to have like you packed it on here and then you just did a little light dab over here. So that's another thing. At least with I feel like with liquid foundation you can kind of tell more and it'll help you fix it, versus powder you're like, yeah, and then you get outside and you're like, sis. Sorry y'all, I just like totally cut out, and oh my gosh, the blush looks beautiful peeking through. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Let me see if I can bring you in more. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. So like I was telling you guys before, if you have texture, you guys can see I have a little bit of a breakout. I've had a maskne session with, you know, everything going on with the pandemic, so you can see on my face in some spots where I do have like texture that this actually brought to light, but it's not bad, and I can definitely say that might be a better thing about this Fenty foundation. Typically when I have these powder foundations, it's like bad, like it will really show them out, but I think it kind of blurred them a little bit. I'm like really shook up. So before I head out for the day, I do want to show you guys two other goodies that I picked up. The Fenty cream glosses have came out, and I have the shade Mauve Wives, and I also have the shade Honey Waffles. Guys, I've been obsessed with Mauve Wives because you guys know I love me a pinky lip, especially when it comes to a no makeup look. So that's probably going to be the one that I throw on today. But Honey Waffles looks so pretty also, and I will swatch these on my hand real quick just so you guys can see before I apply them. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the rest of my look. I'll come back on, show you guys what we got, and we'll take a time look and see how this holds up throughout the day. I do have to run some errands, so I will be out in the winter weather and the drying weather, so we'll see how this, like, is this it, or is it like no sis, and is it better than some of my other, or is it the same, or is it not as good? We'll find out. Okay guys, we are back, and this is the completed look. So I just went in with a little bit of lip gloss, the Mauve Wives Fenty Beauty. As y'all can see, y'all know why this is a fave. It's so pink and just luscious, but still mad chill for this look. One thing I do want to mention to you guys too is this look can totally be toned down. I think I went a little overboard, but I did want to show you guys how like this looks so full coverage. Like you can achieve this look without all the liquids and all the crazy steps it takes for using regular makeup. I simply used I think like 5 products today versus my typical 10 or 15, and I achieved a same look if not better. And we are at 12:33. So it is 12:33. Like I said, I am gonna head out. I'm gonna head out with my day. I have a lot to do. I'm gonna clean around the house. Like I said, I wanted to go out and run a few errands. I have to pick up my new contacts, all things like that. So this will be a day full of wear. And then when I come back tonight, we will discuss how it held up. Do I think this is recommended? Is it good, or is it just another fad of, you know, the Fenty crew? Hey guys, it's Shay. Welcome back. So we are here for our wear test, and let's do a quick time check because I'm actually about to watch a few shows. So I wanted to come in here and do a quick update with you guys before we close out the video. 19:35 in military time, which is also known as 7:35 p.m. and this is how my face is looking. I did go in, as most of you guys can probably tell, with a different gloss. I went in with honey waffles and a brown liner just so you guys can see how the honey waffles also looks on my skin tone. So this is what my face is looking like, and guys, honestly, I mean, I look a little oily in my T-zone, especially my nose. That is common, but this does not look bad at all. Now, I'm going to show you guys the mask I wore throughout the day when I went to the stores. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is not bad. Usually when I wear liquid foundation, my mask is almost covered in brown. So this actually looks pretty decent. Now, I will zoom in for you guys quickly so you can take a look at my face to see if there's any texture. And I will do a quick blot test with some blotting sheets. So on this side of the face, guys, it does look like I have had a little bit loss of coverage. You can see some of the parts of my face peeking through, which you guys know I went with a brush, no makeup look. So, I mean, this is kind of expected to lose a little bit of coverage between the mask and other things that I was doing throughout the day. This side actually looks a little bit better. Still, you can see some of my dark spots peeking through, some texture. But overall, I don't think the face looks bad. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and take one of these blotting sheets and just see how the oils are looking. I expect some oil to be here. I am a typical combo oily girl, but that is what we're looking at from the T-zone, which is what I expected. And if you guys want to see the cheeks. So usually these are good if you want to do like a touch-up on the go. I love these. I love these a lot better than having to pull out powder. And that's the oil from both cheeks. So usually what I typically would do is I would just go around with blotting sheets just to touch up and get rid of any oil spots. But I honestly do not mind the dew and the oil of this, guys. I feel like it looks very natural, and it's probably most likely my own oils peeking through. I didn't expect this to perform phenomenally because I know it's a powder, but I expected it to give me kind of a fresh face, no makeup everyday look with some blurring to my skin, which it did do. Okay guys, so when it comes to the Fenty Soft Filtr Matte Foundation Powder, I hope I said all the words in order. My thoughts about this when compared to the Auntie Gems of powder foundation. This Fenty is close, y'all. This Fenty is close. I really love the fact that I came on camera 7 hours later and I don't look like a grease ball. I mean, you guys did see the oils I had. You did see my mask. But typically, like, I've worn the Lancome before, and honestly, guys, I love it to death. It really has great coverage, but I would look like a oily ball at the end of the day. MAC, I might have to really put to the test against these to figure out which one is my favorite, but it definitely does surpass my Lancome powder. Will I be using this as an everyday staple? I'm gonna try it to see how I like it. I do like the powders as an everyday look better than I like liquid foundations. It saves time. It just is very compact. I could throw this in my purse if I need to. I'm really enjoying it. The shade 420 did show out for me, in my opinion. It looks good on my skin. I've been a 420 girl for years. The hydrating powder or the hydrating foundation didn't look very well on me, but the soft matte long wear and the concealer is a little but the powder looks really, really good, y'all. So would I recommend that you guys go out and spend your good old coin on this? Let's see how many ounces it is. 0.32 ounces. I think $37. I'll put it down here. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's worth a try if you are into powder foundations. I think it's worth a try if you are combination oily or combination dry. If you are dry skin, I don't know how this will be for you, and if you're oily, you might get a little bit more oil than me, but I think you'll still end up with this fresh, dewy like look. You guys can see the texture on my face at the end, some of my spots again peeking through, but for what the claims are, I did use a brush, I did use the no makeup look, I wanted a light blur, and that's exactly what I achieved. So we've reached the end of this, guys, and I am going to recommend this powder foundation. Fenty always stands. If you guys are interested in this video, if you liked what you see, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Do you have any comments, questions? Leave them down below. Have you tried this? Have you tried other powder foundations? What is your favorite powder foundation? Was your color match a color match like mine? And do you plan on buying this? Let me know everything down in the comment box below, and I will see you guys in my next upload.